Hello and welcome to Six Figure Souls Doing Good and Making Money, a special season 5 highlighting my co-authors from the Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul-Aligned Business, 25 Practical Strategies from the Expert. I am your host, Camille Miller, lead author for the book and pioneer of the soul professional movement. Today we have Gayle Gunn with us, and she is the author of Chapter 22, The Room of Indecision, 5 Ugly Truths to Organizing. Thanks, Gayle, for being with us today.
Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So let's start off talking a little bit about you and what you do. Do you want to explain who you are to write this chapter? And then we'll dive into the chapter, because I think it's good to know your background.
I so wish there was an easy explanation to what I do. It's become so complex in my mind. But the short version of it is that I am an organizing strategist, and I call myself that because I bring together a fusion of organizing, coaching, and design. And that started from my own journey to where I am and how I got here with organizing myself physically, mentally, and emotionally, and just wanting to offer that to other people so that they could experience so that they could experience it as well. Sorry, something popped up on my computer. So they could experience what living an organized life is like or about, and kind of helping them through that journey, because it's not, it's not as simple as people think it is. Easy, or it's simple, it's not easy. I think that's what I say. It's simple in nature, it's just not easy.
Yeah, or staying organized.
Yes. You
get organized, but you don't actually stay organized. So there has to be a plan to the structure, keep it.
Yes. And that's where the strategy comes in, is once we create order, is how to help people keep up with it, and sharing the secret to it with all of my clients and those who choose to want to live a more organized life.
Lovely. So this was not your first authoring. You've been in a collaborative book before.
Yes.
But I want to talk a little bit about this particular chapter in our book and why you chose to tell this story at this time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your chapter?
Yeah. So, it was interesting because they both came up within 6 months of each other. And I almost didn't do this particular collaboration because I had just done one. And I was like, well, what else could I possibly share? And then as we were going through the process and talking to Brave Healer Productions and kind of going through what they were looking for, and the personal story mixed with strategy, I thought of my own journey and how I created what I do. And it turned out that sharing another version of my story, and coupled with the strategy of the 5 ugly truths, that I could really shine or highlight, that the process, and that it isn't, organizing, how to be organized and how to keep up with being organized. And so that's really what led me to do this particular publication, was being able to share even more about what I do and how I do it, and what makes it different than what other people may have experienced in working with organizers or that sort of thing. So I love the strategy piece. The personal story coupled with the strategy piece really made it appealing to me to participate in.
Yeah. What advice would you have for someone looking to start their own soul-aligned business? I know there's lots of stories and strategies here, but many people, I feel, that are picking up this book are in their beginning stages, or they're not so sure, or they're still in their corporate world, and they're thinking about making that leap right now.
I think that if I could go back to my like a previous version of myself, and realizing like how eager I was to bring a passion to life, that the first few, like not the first few years, the first year, the first few months will be focusing on what it is that you really want to do. But then there is this piece of like knowing the business side of things. Like we often, people who go into business may not know anything about business. So doing some research on that, like I read some books that talked about, getting started and things to consider. And I didn't necessarily ignore it, but I was like, oh, I don't need to do that. I wasn't trying to cut corners, but I maybe have been trying to save a few dollars, but like I didn't realize that there is very specific business categories that are important to know, like marketing and
accounting.
Who's going to do it, and accounting and sales and like all these different business components that if I had paid more attention to them or knew more about them getting started, I probably would have, I feel like I would have started off in a better position than just like, I have this great idea and I'm just going to go out and do this, and then falling flat on my face, so to speak. That these categories back then would have been super helpful to have more information about. And so that's what I would suggest someone who's looking to get started, is like to have the passion and to know that the passion will fuel the good, the bad, and the ugly. But knowing about business is important as well, as to be able to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, good information there. Totally agree.
Yeah.
How about being soul aligned? Do you feel like you were always soul aligned, or is it something you awakened into?
I would probably say that I awakened into it, because some of the things that we refer to now, like soul aligned or heart centered, or even using the word holistic, like they weren't as mainstream as they are now. And so it's, always living from this different place, so to speak, like a different, the universal laws of energy, or this different vibration, or just always wanting to spread love and light and positivity. I didn't know that would be called soul aligned. But when this book came out and the title came out and more conversation around it happened, I was like, oh yeah, I am totally soul aligned. And how exciting is that to be like, oh, another missing piece or another piece of the puzzle has been put in place. And it just, I get it, people get it. And so it makes it easier to move forward.
Yeah. Awesome. And another question is really about community. And that was the ending chapter that I wrote. I wrote all about finding the right community, why community is important. And I feel, as you know, as a member of our community, that being with people that understand your mission beyond profit, right? It's really your purpose beyond profit. It's that knowing that your purpose is part of your business model. It's impacting people. It's not just making the money. There's just so much more than the money piece of it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't want to say that it's not about the money, because it needs to be. Like if someone has financial goals, finances have to be a part of it, or you won't ever achieve that goal. But it is about I love the purpose over profit, I think is what you said. Because it's about, like when you operate from a place of soul alignment, and when you do what you feel you were born to do, the rest falls into place. And community is definitely a big part of it. I think in 2020, when I first joined NLBP, my word of the year was community. And I didn't even know that words of the year were a thing. And I didn't even know that that the power of having community would bring. And so, the beginning of 2020, my word was community. And the word of the year was community. And in April of that year was when I joined NLBP, and immediately felt like I was in a place where people got me. Like they just get it. There's a level, I say this in a lot of our calls, there's a level of explanation that's not required when you're in a community of people who get you and what you do. There's nothing wrong with outside influences. It's just people who resonate or vibrate on a higher level or a higher frequency. They get it, and it makes what you do so much easier. So it's important to have that community and to find the people who support you in what you're doing. So many people are probably set back by naysayers and others who impose their fears on us, and to be able to step into our own light is not always easy, but it's something that, when you find the right people, find the community that supports you, everything changes and shifts from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right, last question. It's about the book as an overall collaborative, as the piece. Tell us chapters you've read, people you've met, like why would someone buy this entire collaboration of stories?
So I did. I bought my copy on Amazon, and it came in, and I kind of sat with it for a little bit, and then I set aside some time to start reading it. And I'm about 3 chapters in, and I absolutely love it. I'm like, this book is so amazing. And I'm not saying that because I'm in it. I haven't even gotten to my chapter yet. I know it pretty well. but I read the first 3 chapters and I'm blown away by the personal stories that people share. And it's been kind of funny because I'll read the personal story and then I'm like ready for the next story. I'm like, oh, there's a strategy here. Like, and then you read steps that they took to do the thing that they're doing or to help you in your business. And I'm like, this book is a game changer for people. Like, I mean, being an organizing strategist, you give me a book with 25 strategies in it, I'm going to be like, oh, these are awesome. But it's just hearing the stories and having the strategies has been business and life changing already. And I'm only 3 chapters in. I still got 20 to go, 22. So I'm really excited about it. And, I have seen, like you said, I've been a part of other collaborations, but they're different. Like there's something different about this particular publication that you just can't help but want to pick it up and read it. So whether it's an e-copy or paperback copy, like, you got to get the book and read it. You won't be sad you did.
Awesome. Yes, I feel like it was an amazing collaboration of people that I didn't know when I started.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know all of the authors. I knew our members, but I didn't know beyond that, and who are now a part of our community, but really just amazing stories. I had no idea what was going to happen. I just had this vision, and I was blown away the first time I went through it.
Yeah. And I think I actually didn't go through any versions except the edits of my own chapter because I wanted to have it in my hands. Like I supported where I could and I helped some of the other authors in the initial phases. But when it came time to like read it and review it, I was like, no, I am waiting till I get my copy in my hand, which I have right here. Yeah. And I just, like I said, I started setting it every morning and every night. I try to read a chapter all the way through. My son distracts me occasionally, but just like I said, such a good way to start the morning.
I love that. I love that idea.
It's interesting because the stories like that you can bring together 25 complete strangers, so to speak. And there's still a flow to it and there's still a rhythm to it that doesn't feel choppy or inconsistent. It's like it all goes together.
Yeah. I felt there was a common thread through all of our stories too.
Yep.
As we've all gone through our pivotal change, like what happened to change our lives to go in this direction that we're going in now. We all had one.
Yep.
And it's so interesting to kind of read everyone's story, which was all a little bit different, but all common.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible.
Yeah. I feel like it's like when you've had enough, like when someone's reached the point where they're like, I'm done with fill in the blank.
Yeah.
They're fueled by something different than just taking action or trying to figure out or find their way. They're like, nope, I'm done. And I don't know, there's just something very powerful about that. And I feel like that's what the stories I've read so far, including my own, have been led by that, which is like, no, meant for more. So I'm going to go do more.
Yeah. Well, Gayle, thank you so much for your time today and being a part of our podcast and telling your story about your chapter. I want to remind everyone that you can go buy your book on Amazon. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul-Aligned Business, 25 Practical Strategies from the Experts. Amazing book, even though I'm the lead author. It's incredible. Yeah. And you can find it on Amazon. You can go there directly. You can look under the title. You can Google Soul Professional and you'll find it. You can also go to soulprofessional.com and find it. So go get your copy and let us know what you think, because if you're reading a copy, we would really appreciate a review on Amazon as well.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. For more information about the Soul Professional Movement, you can go to soulprofessional.com. This podcast is sponsored by the Natural Life Business Partnership, a global professional organization and business incubator for the soul-aligned entrepreneur. If you live in a higher vibration, have an alternative approach to business, and want to help repair the world, join us for our next meet and greet. You can find the next date that fits you in your time zone at soulprofessional.com. All right, that's the end of our day. Thanks, Gayle.
Thank you.